yes, spring is here. The flowers are blooming, the allergies are attacking, and the real estate agents are dusting off their just listed signs like it's the start of a new fitness challenge. But here's the thing. Marin County home sales this spring, not exactly flexing the way they did last year, or actually any year in the recent past. If you want the real scoop on Marin, California real estate, Bay Area house prices, and how this market is shifting under your feet, stay tuned. This is where we separate the overpriced from the actually sold. So let's get to it. I'm Karrie Hill, lawyer turned realtor, and I love to help people like you buy or sell any home in Marin County. My contact information is in the description below, or hey, just email me. Before we zoom in on Marin, let's start with the bigger picture in California. California's housing market just did that thing where it looks busy but isn't actually moving much. Kind of like a treadmill set to high speed with no one on it. According to the California Association of Realtors, listing activity is way up. 40% of agents had a recent listing appointment, and nearly 34% actually got those homes on the market. That's the busiest we've seen things in 5 years for California homes, and the MLS data also agrees with that. What about Marin homes for sale? Not so different. I'll get to that in a minute. But before you can cue the celebration music regarding more listings available for California, that isn't translating to just as much in more sales. Buyers are still dragging their feet, probably thanks to those pretty high, pesky mortgage rates. So even with more homes available, sales are soft, and demand isn't exactly lighting anything on fire. So those sellers hoping for bidding wars may want to pump the brakes. Price growth is cooling off, and that hot spring market might just end up being lukewarm at best. Here's what went down in April. 214 homes closed, 98 closed below list, averaging minus 8%. That's 1% lower than the average was under list last month. 22 homes sold at about list price, and 91 sold above list, averaging 9%. And that's the same percentage above list as last month. What got my attention? For the past 3 straight months, a growing chunk of Marin County homes has been closing below list price, and fewer are going overpriced. That's not just a fluke, especially given the time of the year. Spring, the hottest marketing season. Bidding war buzz is really fading, and sellers might need to reset their sky-high expectations. By the way, if you want to see exactly which Marin County homes for sale closed last month and how far above or below asking they actually went, I already crunched the numbers. Grab the full list in the newsletter link that's in the description below. You won't find that information anywhere else. That's right, I use a spreadsheet. On to the charts. Okay, so here we are with the inventory of Marin County homes. This is a big part of the story of what's going on, by the way. First of all, take a look at this number. 562 homes for sale on the market. That's bigger than anything on this chart, and in a moment I'm going to show you just how far we have to go back to get something at 562 homes or above. But what you can see is that, first of all, this first one is the homes for sale. So you can see that 562 is right here. That shows that that's a 42% increase over last month, 38 over this time last year, and 38 over the whole quarter compared to this time last year. So all up and significantly up. You want to compare that with these green bars down here, the dark ones, because those are the homes that actually sold. You can see that in April, 214 homes sold. And while that was up 27% from the month before, and also up 12% a year ago this same time, and also up 13% for the whole quarter compared to last year, notice that none of these numbers are as big as how many more homes are available for sale. So you can see that the buying frenzy is not as great as you might have thought if you just looked at these numbers here, that there are more sales. So one of the ways you can see that also is look at the new listings. That's in the middle here. I'm sorry you can't see it. It's not on, it's off screen. But this middle number is the new listings. New listings are also can be seen on this blue line. And you can see that those are not that strong, right? And they're down 11%, down 22% this month compared to last year, and down 7% for the quarter. Wow, people are just not motivated. So they're not bringing as many homes on the market. Home buying is going up, but not as strongly as the amount of inventory that's staying on the market, despite the fact there's not a bunch of new listings. And this is spring, when people are anxious to get their homes on the market, because this tends to be the hottest buying season each year. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go to another chart. Okay, this one is small. I don't know why it's so small, but this number right here is not the actual number from last month, because when I put out this information about Marin County, the numbers are actually still preliminary. They aren't firmed up completely for every single house until like a month later. And that's why usually when you're listening to news about real estate, on the radio or whatever, it tends to be like a couple of months ago or even longer, because it takes that long to settle out every little cross T and dotted I. So I'm giving you the information before that. So yes, it can change, but it's not going to change significantly. In any event, what I'm trying to say right here is that 562 homes, that's not on this chart. You have to go over here and you can see that 550 is this line right up here, and we're talking about something that's higher. And I can tell you that I already looked at this, and this last time that inventory was this high is like right over here, and that is in May of 2021. So it's been a while that we've been seeing this, and as more sellers get the message that things are shifting potentially for the whole market, maybe moving, continuing to move more to a buyer's market than a seller's market, they're going to be anxious to get their homes on the market too. But it's still a good time for sellers. It's still a little bit more of a seller's market, so it's still good timing. But the ones that adapt to that faster, they're going to be the ones in the better place for what looks to be happening now in the trends. And now we're moving to days on market for some more evidence about what is going on in Marin. And this one, I gotta admit, looks, well, a little stronger. Not as strong as it should look for spring, but it is looking a little stronger in that typically, days on market goes down because it takes less and less time to sell a house during the spring, and that has happened this spring too. No different. So the actual days on market is down 11% over last month. That's this little drop from here to here, and it is actually up from this time last year. So that is consistent with the slowing spring market that we're seeing over previous spring markets. It was higher now than last year. But overall for a whole quarter, it's down 2.6%. So again, slightly stronger than the full quarter when you compare the full quarter to last year. And also here is the sales price over the original list price percentage, and that's been a little stronger consistently with the spring, which is generally pretty typical of the spring anyway. Okay, and here we have that all-powerful price information with the blue bars being median prices, which I think are really important in Marin because we have such a vast difference from the low end to the high end. The red line here is the actual sold prices. So like this 1918, that means 1,918,000. And then this top one is asking price. What are sellers hoping to get for their houses? And we do see the typical increase in price for spring. You can see that on the line going up. You can see that on the median price going up, and the numbers right down here is that the median sold prices were up 1.8% from last month compared to this month's numbers, and the average sold price was up 9%. But here's the thing, when you start looking at how it compares to the same month a year ago, not as strong. Zero change in price for the median sold price and the median, that is the median sold price, and the active sold price, it's still showing an increase of up 1.4%. This right here, this is, what sellers are asking. So not as important, but it does show something about their expectations have tempered since last year. And then these numbers are all down. So that means, and again, that's the quarter compared to the same quarter last year. It's more numbers, it's more statistically relevant, especially in a place like Marin County that doesn't sell that many houses every month. So it's a better number. And that is showing a negative 1.7% for the median sold price, a negative 1.2% 2% for the average sold price. And then this is just sellers' expectations, which shows quite a bit of difference from last spring. And here's what I think is like the most shocking of all this, kind of like we're getting weaker, or we're weaker this spring idea than we have been in the past, is wow, what an increase in the price per square foot, which of course then suggests that people are getting less for their money because of that, since the numbers haven't changed that much. Anyway, how's that come out? It comes out to an average of 7.4% higher for average square foot. The same month last year, still up 3.3%. And when you look at the more statistically relevant number, up 1%. So not as great, but nonetheless, it still is a very interesting stat to have, right? Because it looks so powerful for spring, which, you know, typically looks that way. But if you want to go back on this chart, like over to here, see, this is this 807 compared to 2 over here is 760. This popped up and it stayed high all the way through the numbers that we currently have, these two. Whereas for us, it was up and then it got higher and higher. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it does look like, you know, it moved further up, which would have been the month before April, so March numbers last year, than it did this year. Took longer to get there. Anyway, we'll see if that somehow is a connection to softening numbers by next month. If you're the kind of person who alphabetizes their spice rack or knows exactly how many days each listing sat on the market, hi, welcome, you're my people. Here's what's next. I'm splitting the data into 2 bite-sized episodes, one for Marin County single-family homes, one for condos and townhouses. Why? Because the numbers are so different. If you missed my little spicy video on how your agent could get your home banned from the platform with by far the largest traffic, Zillow, check out my video. Zillow slams Compass sellers for off-market home sales. It's a turf war. My bet is on Zillow to win. Looking for more information about living in Marin County or information for buyers and sellers, there should be some video recommendations popping up right now. And hey, please subscribe to encourage me to keep doing these videos. I super appreciate it. Thank you for watching and have a great day.